Wholesale to Million. What up? And hope you guys are having a great day. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. If you enjoy this interview, make sure you smash that thumbs up. So I figure a way out how we actually can be able to do this live. So throughout this interview, if you guys have any question, drop it in the comment. And also too, as you're joining us live, make sure that you smash the thumbs up, and also make sure that you let me know where you're coming in at. But I'm bringing you guys a subscriber first wholesale deal interview. Davion just closed his first wholesale deal for $10K. He's from Dallas, Texas. And I would like to ask you guys for a favor, and that is throughout this interview, if you find any value, and if you like me to continue subscriber first wholesale deal interview, bring on guests like this to share with you guys their stories, how they got the deal done, then show me some love, smash the thumbs up. And also too, is like I said, if you're new to the channel, be sure to smash the subscribe button, join the family, and let's take your life, your business to a whole nother level. You guys put your thumbs together. Help me welcome Davion. What up, buddy?
Hey, what's up, Khang? How you doing?
Hey, very good, man. First of all, before you jump in and start, I want to say thank you so much, bro, for taking your precious time to jump on to do this with me, and obviously adding values to our family. So I would love for all of us to share with you your stories. First, I want to know the dirt, your story, and then leading to your first wholesale deal.
Okay, so it first started, college tuition was coming up, and I didn't have enough money saved up, so I just typed in how to make more money as a college student, and all of a sudden real estate popped up, and I was like, okay. So I started doing research on real estate. I found this guy on YouTube. His name is Antonio Edwards.
Okay.
So I did some learning. So in between classes, I would like study in the library about real estate and do homework at the same time. And then I found your videos, and you were a little bit more animated and like more motivated. Like, let's just get out there and do it. Fuck it.
Yeah.
So I remember I was like studying for like a physics quiz, and then on another tab on my laptop, I was like looking up, what is a FSBO, what is a hub, and stuff like that. So I downloaded this app called Meetup, and then I clicked on the real estate and business section, and there was a local RIA meeting that I signed up for, and I was like, fuck it. I just attended it. I went to the meeting, and yeah, it was great. I went to I want to say a lot, like 6, 7 meetings. I live in Dallas. I went all the way down to Plano, McKinney. And mind you, this is before I had a car, so I was like Ubering everywhere with like $50 in my bank account. So I'm like going to these events, broke as fuck. And I remember one day I went to these events, and then there was this guy, his name was Dennis Henson. I guess he was a real estate investor, but he was retiring, and he said he was mentoring. So I signed up. And then I want to say like a week later, I got a call from his assistant, and he wanted to meet me at his house. So, I went to his house. It was immaculate, very big house, stuff like that. And I remember I had, it was, this was like last semester. So finals had just started. And I remember I finished my quiz super early. I was like, hey, can I go? I'm done. I gotta go. So the professor let me leave class early, and I drove all the way to Arlington to his house, and we just started going, over, mentoring, and, what you said, like time is, nothing is for free. So I remember one time he showed me like the little package thing, and it was like $7,000, for a mentorship. I'm like, dude, I'm in college. I'm broke as shit. Like, I can't afford that. He was like, well, if you got like a friend, he can go half and half. I was like, okay, cool. So I decided to not go with that mentorship because I couldn't afford it. But what he did say to me is, if I had any deals under contract, I can send them his way, and he'll look over them. And if it's a deal, he'll buy it or send it to someone he knows will buy it. So I got my first deal under contract. This was a house. This was a really big house. I was kind of taking off more than I could chew. It was a property that was worth like over $400,000 in like a pretty established neighborhood. And I got that under contract. and she was really generous. For the money down, she let me put like $100 on a $400,000 home. So I'm like, okay. And Dennis, I sent it out to Dennis, and he looks over it, and he's like willing to buy it, but it's not really worth $400,000. I can buy it for $215, or you can do like an owner finance. That didn't work with her, and I built up a really good rapport with her though, so she was kind of fine with that. But ultimately, that deal fell through. I was crushed, and then I remember like I want to say like 3 days later, I got another deal on the contract. This one was in Arlington again. It was this Indian guy who was trying to sell his house. He was a realtor. I got that under contract. I sent it out. I had a buyer for it, but the thing is, the owner of that home wanted to sell it at retail price. So I'm like, dude, this is not gonna work. It's been on the market for over 200 days. Clearly, it's overpriced. I'm like, if you can go down, that's fine. If not, hey. So, and it's kind of funny because I remember when I first showed up to his property to like do the walkthrough. Um, I had to go to school right after, so I had my backpack on. So I knocked on his door, and he opened up the door, and he looked at me like, "Is this a joke? Get this kid out of here!" But yeah, it was fun. So we did that, and then that deal fell through because he wanted it at retail price, and then I just stopped for like I want to say for like until this year. And this year I was like, okay. It was actually in April when I said, okay, it's time to do this. I'm like, okay. So like this is like 3 weeks ago. Like, okay, Davion, you put so much time and effort into this. You started putting out. I remember like making bandit signs myself, like because I couldn't afford to like buy like 300 bandit signs for like 500, 600, $1,000. I don't have money for that. I'm in college. So I went to Michael's, an arts and crafts store, and I got like a foam board, not a foam board, but like one of those boards.
Yep.
And I cut them in half. I bought like 2 of those, or 3, however many I needed. And I got like some sticks, and I cut them in half. And I got a Sharpie marker, and I made some bandit signs, and I glued the little stick to the back, and I stuck it into the ground. And I put like a little plastic wrap over it just in case it started raining, like the transparent. I'm so serious. And I would go out like in the rain, the mud. And I just thought like I put so much work into it, like I'd be an idiot not to, because I made so many connections. And then turn around, one of those events that I went to, I got an email for this company, this tech real estate company called Real Estate IQ. And they said they were hiring. So I sent them my resume. And I have a background in media arts and animation and graphic design. And I was also getting into real estate too. So I got called for the interview, and I made it as their intern. So I would basically like set up their event stands. I would do the audio. I would do the check-ins, just to get myself in that door. And one of the guys was a broker. So I learned a lot from him. And I want to say, honestly, when I put after I started again, after that week, I got a deal under contract. I want to say like the next day. And then the following week, I closed on it. And that was the one for $10,000. It was a Fort Worth property. It was a fourplex, but they were converting it into a single family unit. And I believe I sold it. Asking price was about 148. I got it down to 122. And luckily, no one else wanted that property. And I called out one of my realtors I had a relationship with from the RIA meetings. And literally, she called me back immediately after I sent her an email. She was like, I don't even have to do the walkthrough. I want this house. I want it. I have a buyer here has cash right now in his hand. Just you don't have to schedule a walkthrough. Listen, where's the contracts? I'm going to sign this now. And it happened. And we signed the contract that day. Dealing with the title company was a hot mess. I mean, honestly, dealing with title companies, it's, you can never breathe until the check's in your hand. So I did that, and then right when I had that property under contract, when I was waiting for the title company to clear it over, I got another property. This was a South Dallas property. It was kind of like, I don't know, in the ghetto area, you would say. And I want to say I wait. It was another wholesaler gave me that property. He was like, if you can find a buyer for it, you can add your fee on top. And I was like, okay, fine. It looked a little overpriced to me, but I was like, okay, why not? Just go with it. And I sent it out to I want to say the third buyer that I sent it out to. I didn't know this guy at all. I found him on, you know, Facebook, etc. And I gave him the email to the property, and then he called me. And he was like, "Yeah, I'm really interested in this property. Can we set up a walkthrough?" Da, da, da. And I was like, "Fine, you can set up the walkthrough, but they don't they prefer for you not to have an option period." So he was like, "Okay, fine." We did the walkthrough. Well, I didn't go there. I was at work. I didn't have time to be there. So they did the walkthrough. Um, and he was like, "Okay, cool. I'll get back to you, you know, see if I want this property or not." And then he called me back, I want to say like 2 hours later, and he was like, "Okay, you know, you guys can start the contract process. He's ready to buy this property, et cetera, et cetera." So I wanted, but the one thing I didn't do is I did not add my fee on top to that property. I thought that the wholesale would give me a fraction of what he was making. So there was a disagreement on that. So I was like, basically, they could have cut me out of the deal if they wanted to. But the buyer was like, "Hey, I'll give you 1,000 of what I'm making for this property." And then the other wholesaler was like, "Okay, I'll give you another 1,000 to match that out." So I'm really grateful for them because they didn't have to give me anything. I could have completely got shut out of that deal. And we're at this point now. It's still April. So I'm working on another property in Cedar Hill, Texas. I just did a walkthrough yesterday with another one in Dallas. I'm currently trying to find buyers for that one. But the one thing I will say is it's very hard to give up in this field. Like right now, I'm kind of stressing out because I'm looking for buyers for this property. It's a showing tomorrow, and yeah, I just want to say, like, when you're doing this, every day isn't gonna be a great day, and you're gonna feel kind of crappy. But you just kind of like you gotta just go through it. Just keep pushing through it. Just keep on doing what you're doing. You might not feel great, but at least you're doing something that's gonna go towards what you're trying to do. So yeah, if you have any other questions.
Absolutely. So, David, first of all, man, I want to say congrats again. That's awesome. Now, how old are you?
I'm 23.
Dude, I wish I discovered real estate when I was 23, bro. So great job, dude. It's 23. You got a job. You're still in college?
Yep, full-time.
Full-time job and full-time college?
Full-time college, part-time
Okay.
job.
Full-time college and then part-time job?
2 jobs.
2 jobs.
Yes.
And what are those 2 jobs?
One of them is a restaurant, and then another one I work at an art store.
Wow. Okay. and real estate.
Mm-hmm. So,
Dang, bro. Okay. Now let's talk about when did you initially start? Because I know you said that you didn't really got the deal until like this year, but when did you initially start?
It's a year this month, actually. A
1
year
year.
this month. I started in April, like towards the end of last semester. Yeah.
Gotcha. And the reason why, davion, I asked that is because so many people get in and then they get excited or get pumped up and they'll be like, "Oh, I'm in it for 2 months. I'm in it for 3 months. I'm in it for 6 months. I'm in it for 7 months, or maybe 8, or maybe a year in, and they're about to want to give up." So that's why. And it took davion a year, you know, since the time he discovered real estate, he started learning. And then a year later, he got his first deal for $10K. And now, how did you found that deal?
On Facebook.
Facebook?
I honestly didn't even think I would get it. But I was like, he put a listing out, selling Fort Worth property, leave emails. And I was like, okay. I mean, I was responding pretty late, so I'm like, I'm pretty sure someone else probably already got it. But I just put down my email, and he sent property to me. And I remember I sent it out to all my buyers, and no one wanted it. And I was like, hey, I remember this one lady I got from this guy from one of these events I went to, and she buys houses in Fort Worth. And I gave her a call after I sent her that email, and she was like, let's go. Like, this, everything was done that day. Like, let's go. Everything was signed.
Okay, now, Davion, so you said that was on a Facebook. Now, was that like a for sale by owner on Facebook, or is that listed property?
Oh no, he was an investor, but it was an off-market property.
He's an investor.
Mm-hmm.
But okay, so
but it was an off-market property.
Okay, so it's off market, and when you say Facebook, is it the Facebook Marketplace?
It was like one of those groups on Facebook, like how you have a group on Facebook.
Yeah.
It was one of those public Dallas groups, you know.
Okay. So this guy's an investor, and he's selling one of his what, rental property or what?
Yeah, it could be a rental.
Wait,
because it was formerly a fourplex.
Okay, gotcha. Okay. So now, when you got it under contract, is it a fourplex or is it a single family?
It was formerly a fourplex, but they put it as a single family.
Okay, gotcha. Okay. So he was just an investor that looking to offload. I guess this could have been like. So what is the situation?
He was assigning the contract.
Oh, so he's another wholesaler.
Yeah, so they buy and sell properties. But what I did is I told them I could get this house sold for you guys. But what you guys are just gonna do, just put my name under the special provisions, and you can just add my fee on top of the special provisions. We had a pretty decent relationship. We were talking for a while, so they just went ahead and did that, and then we signed it over to my realtor, who had the buyer.
Okay, so let me get this. Straight. So he sent it out. Ask, and what was the asking price? That
like 148.
Okay, 148, and then you said that you got under contract with him at 122.
Yep.
Okay, Davion. So he's actually not. So he's not the owner of the property. Correct.
Yes.
So he's another wholesaler that got another. So he's an investor. He buys, fix, and flip, and I guess he also does wholesale.
Yeah.
So he tied that property up with the seller at a certain price.
Mm-hmm.
He sent it out to one of the Facebook group, like Wholesaling Houses Full Time or whatever it was.
Yeah.
So he sent it out, and you got in contact with him. He sent out for 148, and how did you know to make an offer at 122?
I remember what you said. Shamelessly, I remember you said, if you don't feel ashamed about how low you should go, then it's probably not low enough. So I was like, fuck it. I mean, just go as low as you can go. Why not?
But my question is that, so what's the ARV on it?
The after repair value of the property it was like, I want to say 295 up to 295K.
Okay, so ARV is 295, and what was the rehab on it?
40 to 60 maximum.
Okay, no problem. So 40 to 60K for rehab. Now, Davion, my question for you is that, do you have any construction background?
Not at all.
Okay, so now, and so before you make the offer 122, what did you use to figure out the ARV?
You know, I really wish I could give you like a smart answer, but I'm going to be completely 100% honest. I didn't know that, so that's why I offered so low. So like as low as I can get it. So yeah, that's what we went. I initially offered him 119. I offered him at 119, so 148 to 119. He was like, nah.
So, okay, so Davion, let me make sure I understand the story correctly. So he locked it up under contract with the seller at a certain price. He sent it out for 148, and you just pick some random number and say 119, and then you end up at 122. It's just some random number.
100%. That's what happened. Yeah.
And you're able to convince him that 122 now does he know that you're a buyer, or does he know that you're another wholesaler?
Oh, he knows I'm a wholesaler. I let him know up front.
Okay, cool, man. So you said, hey, you know what? At 148, I'm not gonna make it work, man. But I'm thinking at 122, I can make it work, right?
Yeah, I could have a buyer that will buy it for you today at that price. So if you're ready to go now, like right now, then we can make this happen. And he
Okay,
went
so
with it.
now, okay, gotcha. Now, David, why were you so confident? Because I know that you mentioned that you sent it out to the. So did you send this deal to the realtor at the 148 and let her know what price you would pay, or what?
Um, yeah, I initially sent it out to her at 148.
And then you ask her what her buyer would pay for, or what she would pay for?
And then once she told me that,
The whole, yeah.
investor and went down on the price so she could add both of our fees on top. So it would all even out.
Gotcha. Got it. Okay. So I just want to make sure for those of you who like you're new. So I want to really make this very, very clear. So the guy that locked it up on a contract with the original seller sent it out to the group at 148. You now obviously take that information and you send it over to this one agent where you'll be like, hey, she's the one that I recall that she says she buys property in the area. If not, she will have buyer. So now when you send it to her, you send with the address, you send with all the property information and the asking price of 148. Is that correct?
Yes.
And then she told you that she can do 148, or what price did she tell you that she can do it at?
Well, I remember she told me, see how low you can go, but either way, she wants the property.
Mm,
It worked out because her buyer had cash. Like he could pay for the entire property in cash. So that's what made the deal more enticing to them because he was a cash buyer.
right. I gotcha. So basically the agent said, hey, at 148, it's probably going to work, but let's see how low you can get it, right?
Yeah.
So that way you can make your fee and then she can make her, right?
Yeah.
So you lock it up on a contract for 122. Now, what is the end buyer buys it at? 148?
You know what? I don't even know. Honestly, it was a whirlwind. I was like, I didn't even believe I got this property under contract, first of all. So I don't remember how much she paid for it. I really don't.
No problem. So now, davion, so when you go back to the other guy and you said, hey, at 122, I got a buyer that is ready to go at it. So what he did was he assigned it, and tell me if I'm wrong. So he assigned it over to you for 122. Is that correct?
Oh no. So he put my name on his contract. So he added me to the provisions on his contract and he assigned it to the buyer.
For whatever
Yeah.
amount more.
hmm
Gotcha. Okay. So obviously he knows that you make 10K on it.
Yeah.
And then the agent, and how much the agent makes on it. Do you know?
I don't know.
So you just
I
want
don't
to make
know.
sure that you get your cut, the 10K.
Exactly.
Who care what
Yeah.
everybody else make? You're like, just show me my
To be honest.
money.
Yeah.
Got it, man. So basically, davion, all it is that he got a set of buyers, and then he went out and found a piece of property, and then instead, basically found the property and say, hey, I got a buyer. Maybe I send it out to my buyer and see what price they would pay that, and then try to connect the dot.
Yeah.
Okay, cool, man. So that's your first deal, and then you went on to do your second one. So if you guys have any question, this deal is a little bit different. It's not that davion went out and locked it up on a contract with the seller, so it's a little bit different. But I mean, I've seen people do this all the time, right? They got a list of cash buyer. It's called co-wholesale, right? It's called co-wholesaling. They got a list of cash buyer. They went out there, instead of finding their own deals, they work with other wholesalers that got property up on a contract, and they send it out to their buyers and see what they buy would buy that, and then they'll just connect the link. Now, davion, let me see if I have any other question. Okay, so this property, was it vacant, occupy, or what?
Both of them were occupied.
Okay, so was
they were able to move out within 10 days of closing on the property.
10-day closing?
hmm
Nice.
They had 10 days to vacate.
Oh, gotcha. You mean so basically it was rented.
Yeah, but since they own the property, they had another house, so it wasn't a big problem for them to move
Gotcha,
out.
man. Gotcha. Okay. Um, there you guys have it. That's the stories. You have any questions, drop it in a comment, and then Davion and I will try to answer it, obviously. And now, Davion, now I want to know what's your plan, man, because I know that you have full-time college. And for those that, maybe want to get into real estate and they're in your shoes, they're going to college or, and they're trying to figure their life out and what they really want to do. I mean, so what's your plan? I want to know what's your plan now that this business becomes real to you, right?
Yeah.
Because you close your first one, then you close your second one, you send me a check for $2K, you close your second one. Now, what's your plan?
Well, honestly, my plan is to close at least 10 properties this year.
Okay.
So 8 more. And with that capital, I hope to expand this wholesaling business. I want to get to the point to where I can hire a decent staff of like 4 or 5, and then just gradually phase out and still have revenue coming in.
Okay.
Once I have that solid team behind me that is actually, sustaining this business.
Sure.
And I hope to use that capital to go towards other ventures. I actually started to do this because I wanted to start up a tech company, but I didn't want to have to go out and find vendors and get loans. So hopefully this capital will be able to help me, kickstart the other businesses I want to do, with having a background in media arts and animation and, going to school for, technology. So hopefully I can expand my entrepreneur endeavors and, see how that goes. But the one thing, one thing that I always said to myself since I was little, I don't like working for other people. Like I don't have the personality. I don't have the personality for customer service. In the words of Daffy Duck, I just don't. So I feel like this is the only way I can go because I can't just work. I can't work for other people. It's just not gonna work out. I'm too mean.
I'm too mean.
So yeah.
Now, so Davion, so this will be your site. So I guess my question for you is wholesaling it's going to be your main or just going to be your side hustle?
For now, it's my main.
Okay. So now that is your main, but are you going to keep wholesaling? Are you going to pursue it and grow it big as your main, yes, or just be your side and then take the capital and invest it into something that you want to do?
I want to say hopefully for the next 2 or 3 years, I'll work on this to be my main.
Mm-hmm.
But still have those blueprints set for the other things I want to do. I just want to get this jump started since I'm already starting to see the money in this.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be a fool to like just stop while the iron's still hot.
Yep.
So I'm gonna, keep pursuing this full time for the next 2 years at least.
Okay. And then for those that probably going to ask you, so what about college? Are you going to continue? Are you going to what's your goal with that?
I'm going to continue. You can never be like too secure, so it'd be nice to have that in my back pocket. So I'm going to keep that up.
Gotcha, man. And so what are you studying for college?
Information technology.
Gotcha. And then, so you're saying eventually you want to build a tech company? Is that what it is?
Yep.
Gotcha. Okay, man. Now, I mean, that's pretty much it. I mean, I just kind of want to ask and kind of want to see where you are with, seeing your life, what you want to do for those that may be in the same shoes as you. Maybe, they can kind of see what's your thought is on it. Now, Davion, what are, to wrap this up, how do people connect with you?
Well, you can go to my Instagram. I believe the post that you sent out, they can look there, but it's called Jacob Tutu, JACUBTWO 2. You can also find my real estate Instagram profile. It's davion_real estate. Hold on. Jacob Tutu Instagram.
Yeah. And the thing is, you guys, I'll make sure I put it in the descriptions, and then you guys just need a comment and ask any question. Davion will be more than happy to answer it. Davion, so last tips, advice, any last word that you want to say so we can wrap this up, man?
Yeah, first I'm gonna, do a plug. I have a YouTube channel. It's called Jacob22 as well. I'm thinking about posting, my real estate adventures on there. I have them pre-recorded from when I first started doing it, but I didn't think it was interesting enough to post, but I might do it. So,
Yeah.
you can, subscribe to me on my YouTube, Jacob22. But also, even after closing your first and second deal, it gets easier, but it's still, pretty challenging. Like, don't let the facade fool you. Like, don't let like these people who think it's like one or two deals and they're not. Like, it's still hard. It's still a lot of work you got to put in. You still question yourself if you're good enough or not. Can you recreate that magic that you did the first two times, or did you just get lucky and strike lightning in a bottle? So what I say is just keep at it. You can only get so many no's before you get another yes. And I might have to do this 1,000 more times before I close my third one. But yeah, just keep at it. And don't procrastinate. Don't watch too many videos by too many different people, because that's just a gang rape of things that just is not gonna go well. Just stick with one or two.
Awesome.
Your favorite one or two, and take action.
Awesome.
Like, don't ask me how, just do it.
Awesome. Now, Davion, like, I know you mentioned earlier that that you are pretty much straight up, so you can't work for somebody because you just don't take order. You as real as it can be. So I want to know, man, what's the first video from me that you watched, and what was your automatic instinct, like, and give it to me, man.
Okay, the first one I watched, God. I want to say, I think you were sitting in your. There were two of them that I distinctly remember. One of them, you were sitting in your car, and you were talking about how you started out poor, etc., stuff like that. And I'm like, here I am, living in a middle class area, lounging around, eating snacks, and playing video games, like I'm the shit. And then I remember you were doing live cold calling. That's really what got me jump started. The first live cold call you did. And I remember, if you can do it, then I can do it. And I remember that same day, I went to Craigslist, and then I found some houses for sale, and I just started calling. I remember I got cursed out. And then I started doing probate lists as well. I got a call from a probate list. She went off. Like, how dare you, da 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 da. She's like, I'm gonna post this on Facebook. Like, there were a lot of rude phone calls, but get over it. That's all I can say. Just get over it. It's gonna happen.
Yeah, shit happened.
I mean,
Davion, thank you.
And you'll never stop being nervous.
What's that?
Oh, nothing.
Oh yeah, Davion, thank you so much. You guys, I want to hear from you. You know what? I'm actually very curious. Drop in the comment. I want to know, like, when you guys when you discover my video and watch me for the first time, I want to know from all of you, what was your first impression? Like, when you watch it, like, what was your first impression? Comment in below. I would really love to know. And you guys, if you haven't followed me on Instagram, hit me up on IG. Go to Khang, Khang .WTM. Like I said, if you find any value throughout this interview, please show Davion some love. Smash the thumbs up. Comment with any question you have, and we both will be more than happy to answer it. Davion, thank you so much for your time, and I wish you massive success, man, and keep us posted.
Thank you, Khang.
Yeah, thank you so much. Have